or to, if you're smart enough, to win a debate. I'm undefeated. So let's get it rocking. See a few more people joining. I'll make a direct statement and let's see if y'all can extrapolate this out and see who has a high IQ. Single moms breeds child delinquents, men in prison, school shooters, gang violence in society. Biblical scholar, this ain't that podcast, man. I do male and female. I'm an expert at male and female intersexual dynamics debates and political debates as well, to an extent. Not as far as policy political debates, but, meta ethics and normative ethics political debates I'm pretty good at.
Hi, my name is Akeem, and I am the founder, chairman, CEO, president, vice president, and the dean of Ran-DomU University. We offer a vast variety of courses, everything from psychology of the fake alpha male to cringe studies to pause 101. Now, if you're interested in joining this university, please call or text the number on the screen at 1555 Ran-DomU. Are you ready? Welcome back to Ran-DomU University. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed any of the past videos and you want some more education coming up. So, yeah, today we got a different form of lesson plan as we're just going to simply talk about the live stream that Cooley had last night, which would have been a Wednesday, the 20th of November. So he basically went on and he wanted this, smoke stream. Basically, when people have these smoke streams, they basically want to have people on for debate. They pretty much got this idea from Kevin Samuels. I'm pretty sure other people did it beforehand, but Kevin Samuels is the one who really took the top off of it when he let the women call into the show and attempt to debate him on things that they disagreed with. Now, the difference is between Kevin and some of these people in the manosphere is that when they debated Kevin at least let them speak somewhat. He would cut him off a lot, and then he would like to throw jokes and then throw a lot of little puns and play his little soundboard and whatnot. But he did at least let people get their points off a little bit, at least enough to the point where you could see how delusional they were, or if they were actually off base, or if they were wrong. But you couldn't do that in this stream. Cooley is somebody who simply just cannot debate. He does not debate. And he definitely doesn't debate men, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But the funny thing about this smoke, stream was the fact that for somebody who wanted so much smoke, he was running scared like he was Chucky Finster. He literally showed us about as much courage as the dog. That's how much courage he showed on the stream, trying to get people on his platform to call them out and make them look like idiots. He couldn't really do it. And the funniest thing that actually took place on that live stream was the fact that he ordered food at the beginning of this live stream. This is a 3-hour live stream. He didn't pick up this food for like 2 hours. I hope he got a refund for Uber Eats. You know what I'm saying? Like, he deserves his money back. That was ridiculous. So I'm saying if he had to pay any money for that, he should be getting a refund. That was effed up. And that's if he at least, actually ordered food.
You up in a second. Let me just order this food real quick before they close. What time is it? 9:36? I got to get my Five Guys.
As you hear him go on and on throughout the stream, he mentions that he ordered some Five Guys. He needed his Five Guys, which everybody kept throwing jokes in the comment section. And this is why I hate comment sections. Comment sections just turn stupid really fast. And most of the people that are in the comment section are dumb. And I'm talking about really dumb. These people are absolutely remedial. IQ of about 18. So when he was talking about a lot of people having low IQ, somewhat I agree with him. But there was also a point where really he was just actually being offensive to the people in the chat. Like, everybody who was calling in, the people who called in and actually put up compelling debates, the few that he did, that was what was frustrating, because he tried to make it seem like everybody was stupid. They're not all stupid.
But I see why these other podcasts from this space be cussing y'all out.
And just because you didn't let somebody talk or finish their point doesn't mean they're dumb. You just didn't let them speak. I mean, you got to let them actually get their point across, guy. Now, I have notes here because I didn't want to get, lost and, fall off track or anything. But, that's just funny to me. But the whole thing with that pizza and the Five Guys, it makes me question if he actually got food at all. Because I really did think, man, if it's going to take you 2 hours to get your food from the beginning of the live stream, somebody owes you some money. Somebody owes Cooley a refund. And especially if it's Uber Eats or DoorDash or whoever decided we're going to be dropping that stuff off. It felt like it was one of those situations where like it was probably somebody who might be foreign or they didn't understand the language and whatnot, or they're going towards a building that they cannot find the entrance to and they're just lost. And they've been driving around the block for like an hour and a half and they didn't steal your food this time, which I guess that would be a good thing for him, which he probably should have checked that. All I know is that food probably had to be as cold as Jack's body at the end of Titanic sinking down to the bottom of the ocean, because that stuff was sitting around forever. I mean, heck, if the delivery was 2 hours, the food was cold after the first 30 minutes. I mean, especially if you actually ordered Five Guys, a burger after 2 hours. Oh, you know how soggy and horrible a burger from Five Guys would be? Them fries are no good. He definitely needs an air fryer if he doesn't have one, which, he's probably, living it up. So he's probably got one of those. But either way, I'm losing track of what I was talking about. Main thing about that stream that I want people to remember, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all, if you were in the chat, you'll know what I'm talking about. LT, I saw you in the chat, by the way. Yeah, I mean, you can't hide. I got the screenshots. I saw you. It's right here. Gray Pill, I saw you as well. I mean, the thing is funny about that live stream is he wanted all that smoke, but there was like 30 different content creators that were sitting around in the chat. They were all sitting around trying to give him some smoke, but he didn't want to actually click on their face because he knew that he can only lose if he did that. Even Fatty, of all people, decided he was going to get on there. Fatty, the guy I called out in one of my videos about being a Geppetto a long time ago, which, I mean, that might have been a little mean and it's probably not even that true. And I might have taken a few things out of context. Don't know. Don't care. It was still disturbing at the time.
They're marrying at 12, like 20-year-olds with 12-year-olds.
Because they all predators. Because they all predators.
No.
I do believe Fatty. If the legal age of consent was 12, he definitely entertained it.
But I believe that in those cultures. But I believe that in those cultures. But I believe that.
But either way, Fatty got on there and actually apparently cooked this man. To be real, I didn't see where Fatty cooked him. I saw where Fatty got absolutely eviscerated with insults because it didn't turn into an argument it didn't turn into a debate. It was an argument. And it wasn't even really an argument. It was just mudslinging. And it was just Cooley just slinging all sorts of insults at Fatty. And I'm not gonna lie, I did personally laugh at least about 5 or 6 of those jokes.
Hit the gym, Fatty. You looking ridiculous right now. That old Lakers jersey from Wish. This guy got a Wish Lakers jersey on. Nigga, that jersey. Bro,
can you let me talk?
Fatty, that jersey that you got on is lazy. That jersey that you got on mad at you. I know it stink. I can smell that jersey. I can smell that jersey through this live stream. It smell musty, Fatty. Come on, man. You can do better than this. Listen, I told you, when you actually come on here with some real debates. I know you got mayonnaise over there in the corner and some lotion because you be beating your meat all day. You look like one of them dudes.
People thought he couldn't cook. I thought he was absolutely filleting Fatty. I thought he had Fatty tied to the stick and was just twirling that mug over the campfire. Like Fatty had the apple in his mouth. It was ugly to me. But overall, Cooley embarrassed himself. Because if you're the alpha, you're supposed to stay calm in these debates. And what I noticed that what he does with men in his debates is he just tries to sun them. He just tries to make them look stupid and tries to always cut them off anytime they get ready to make a point. And, he gets really irritated when he debates is what I noticed. I mean, you really start seeing the insecurities come out of this man when it's like, well, can't let you win. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're making a good point. Let me shut you up. Or let me just change the topic altogether. What happens is you go in with a question, right? And then he immediately answers that question with a question. Cooley would be an amazing politician. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Cooley running for president in 2028 because he is that level of good. I mean, he's great at blame deflecting or just deflecting all levels of accountability. If you ask him anything about himself or anything that was having to address the issues, he just found a way to flip it some other way. He's like the person that if you ask him, what color shirt are you wearing? He would be saying something like, that is interesting. Actually, as a matter of fact, my shoes are something that's made out of a specific leather. It's like, dude, I was talking about what color shirt you were wearing. I don't care about your shoes. He's like, do you actually know why people see color? That's the kind of stuff that he would bring up in a conversation. And then he would question your intelligence and act like you were stupid because you didn't know the history of where colors began or something stupid like that, even though he probably didn't know.
Brother, I'm going. Listen, bro.
Please be direct, man.
I gotta give context though, because the other night I was watching your live, and the guy asked you. He said, "Why haven't you married the girl yet, bro? Why haven't you married her?" And you told him specifically verbatim, "I use reason and logic."
Yes, sir.
Everything ain't for this. Now, my only thing as a black man, you said the law, not as a black man, but as a married man, the law isn't set up for in your favor. It incentivizes the woman to leave her husband. That's what you said. Okay. Now the law is not set up in the favor of a black father either. So why choose to knock her up instead of choose to get her pregnant? The law ain't set up in either favor. So I'll choose not to marry you because the law isn't set up in my favor. It incentivizes you to leave. But if I get you pregnant, the law also incentivizes you that you can leave and get it never.
Yeah, no, that's wrong. The comparison of what you're doing, it isn't an equal comparison because there's difference, right? For alimony, that's something much different, and child support, that's something much different. Okay. But guess what? When you're married, you get both of those. The party can get both. So what you're saying right now is nonsensical. That doesn't. You're trying to compare something that's equal and say, well, why don't you? Why haven't you just did this because of this? And this is equal.
Before the child.
Yeah, what I'm telling you is that
the whole live stream was really funny to me just because people kept trying to call in and he really kept ducking all the fades. You couldn't cut that man's hair. He wasn't going to get any hands laid on him verbally because he just was going to avoid it. And he admitted by the end of the stream he could see everybody. And he just refused to talk to any of the people who kept saying, hey, hit me up. LT was begging to get in there and actually debate this guy. Wouldn't let him.
I had many men on. There's not a lot of girls that come up. When a girl came, I could see the people. So that was the only girl that came. So I'm like, okay, I got all these men. Stupid, low IQ.
He wouldn't let him do it because it would have been so easy to absolutely kill this man. And I really wish I would have got to see it. I was hoping as I was listening to this that I would actually see that moment take place. And it didn't though. That was sad. Now also, like, if you went through that live stream and if you still don't believe that that man is a hypocrite, I strongly recommend that you watch this video that was created by I Am Courtney Michelle, who was also in the chat. Watch her video on Cooley. It shows a whole lot, once again, about how this man tries to manipulate stories, where he literally took a story where his brother was literally talking to him and about to whoop his ass, and he tried to say, no man, he was trying to whoop the other guy in the room. Dude, he was talking to you. You were the one who made the comment that he repeated back to you that you saw in the video. I would suggest watching that video after you're done with this here today and watch the compilation of videos that has led up to this. But, you know, it was interesting to say the least.
Very low. Nigga, anything is possible. There's 1,700 comets that hit the earth per year, but we don't never feel the consequences because the earth is so big. So anything is possible.
So, okay, I hear you. And good points. So,
real one quick. I got to go grab this real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Stay right there. I'm going to put you back in the queue. Stay. Real quick. I got to go pick up something real quick. Hold on.
I still can't believe it took him that long to get his food. You can see like throughout the stream, he was literally getting distracted. He was actually physically like, where is it? You know, and he tries to keep his cool. He does a good job of not cussing. He's not, you know, disrespectful in that way. He doesn't call you anything that Myron would call you. And I doubt he ever would put a KKK hood on, and definitely doesn't have one in his drawer somewhere. I don't think he does. The only people I think that might be one of his, like, you know, girlfriend's parents or something like that, or uncles. But other than that, I don't think he would have one of those lying around. And oh yeah, and back to that point once again about him debating men, he just uses sign language. The man simply just does the same stuff that Kevin Samuels talked about with all the modern women. He's just a modern woman. That's really what it comes down to when it comes to these manosphere people. They're all the same as the people that they hate. You know, sort of like when your parents used to tell you, you will become what you eat. These people become what they hate. You know how you used to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and your parent would say something stupid, you're going to become a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you're like, I'm never going to become bread. Like, I can't become those elements. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. But this is almost real. Except because you can actually become somewhat similar to another human. You can't actually become food. Well, you can for animals. I found it amazing that in a 3-hour live stream, this man debated, I think, about 4 people, maybe 5. And he made sure he picked all the people that he knew he could probably cook. it was real selective. You know what I'm saying? It was a real vetting process. It was sort of like a real selective lottery where it was pretty obvious who was going to win. You know, and it was real sad. It was more like if you were in a Mortal Kombat tournament and you knew the person that was going to fight Goro was the person who was going to be the weakest on your team. He made sure he got that person. Sort of like in Mortal Kombat, they chose Johnny Cage because they just thought, you know, the measly white guy would definitely go out there and die, basically. Didn't happen. Those people went out there and cooked them pretty much because they held their ground. They didn't embarrass themselves. They didn't crash out. And when you start seeing, oh, Cooley's crashing out, that's when you're losing. When your chat starts turning into L, you're taking L's. Now, some of those people down there, they might be just bots and stuff like that because there's bots everywhere. They just are.
I'll give you this information. It was about, 4 years until we even moved in. I'll tell you that things had to be proven. That woman made it to the finish line and she beat out everyone. She did her job. Very submissive woman. Comes from a good background and stuff like that. That's what I'm telling you. Very submissive.
And I hear you. And my question is,
what I'm
could
saying
you not
is,
find that from a woman that didn't have
for sure. For sure. It's many options, bro. Like more options than you can even imagine. Many options. So what I'm telling you is, it's not always about that. When you have a kid, you have to be selfless, not selfish. So what I'm saying is, from a man's standpoint, and on these podcasts in the red pill space, we always speak about mitigating risk. Well, if you're talking to this girl, you have to mitigate risk and watch out for all the red flags in this girl and that girl and that girl. If she has tattoos, if she comes from a single mother household, if she's dancing on a stripper pole, if she got all of these exes, you know what I'm saying. So we always have to mitigate risk. Got it. What I'm letting you know is that the woman that I chose just happens to be an exception to the rule. She didn't fit into those categories that we would all deem, right? And not only that, she played her position, played it well for many years, and then she got to the finish line. You get what I'm saying? Got promoted.
The other thing that kept bothering me was the fact that he kept trying to say that he was the exception to the rule. There are no exceptions to the rule. You can't sit here and say single mothers are recreational use and then date a single mother and say, well, these are the exceptions. No, homie, there are no exceptions. Doesn't matter what color she is, doesn't matter how bad she is, don't matter about anything. There are no exceptions. She's a single mother. She's supposed to be taboo. She is supposed to be utter heresy. You're not supposed to be able to touch her. She is thou who shall not be named. She's worse than Voldemort. That's what the single mother is. The single mother is the devil. And the funny thing is, the people who clown these individuals, sort of like, I hate chat rooms because sort of like this one woman got on there, right? And she had this hat and she was pulled deeply over her head and she had like blonde hair or something like that. All half the chat was talking about was like, I bet she beat, dog. She ugly, man. She ain't nothing. She's stupid, man. She can't talk. She remedial, man. She a modern woman. Like, God, y'all are so effing sad. If you're not a bot, I suggest that you go jump off a bridge. And I hope there's no water at the bottom of the lake. Y'all are worthless people. Like, if that's all you got to do with your time is to go into chat rooms and just troll people and troll women and make people feel bad about themselves and say they ugly and stuff like that, I can't imagine how ugly you really are at home. I'm talking about people who say these things. They're always projecting. They're always projecting everything they feel right there in their words. I mean, it's really obvious too. It's really obvious. But yeah, LT was really trying to call in and give the smoke. But blunt talk, he wouldn't let him light it. That's the thing is, Cooley wouldn't light the blunt for there to be any smoke. It's a shame. Like I was really wanting there to be some real compelling action on there, and he just wouldn't allow that to happen. He just felt good talking crazy to the people that was on there, crashing out, yelling at folks like he was a 19-year-old. And that's all that was. The whole thing was a long waste of time. Thought about clicking off of it many a times, but I'm like, I need to just hear it. And what if one of these people end up on there? I don't want to fast forward because I might miss the moment where they were on there and got booted, got kicked off or whatever. I don't know. It was really sad. And this whole saga has been sad to watch this man completely crash out. I mentioned at the end of my last video that, look, yes, you do have probably some new people who subscribe to your channel. Some people subscribed that night. Some people literally joined his platform then. And he's talking about the people who are still rocking with him. They're going to rock with him. But those people who are rocking with you, after they witness you crash out in such terrible ways, they'll just start clicking on your videos a lot less. They'll see those fresh and fit type thumbnails, and they'll see that you got those Donovan Sharp type of talking points, and they'll see that you look up to people like Rollo Tomasi. Oh my God, I just remembered that. He said that he looks up to all of these terrible people.
I know. King's speech. Trust me. I know what you're saying, bro. I know. That's why gotta give it to Fresh and Fit. Gotta give it to him. Gotta give it to Fresh. Gotta give it to Myron because they be having so much more hate. And I know they came to the conclusion, I had to come to the conclusion, but they probably came to the conclusion for sure years ago, like, there's just low IQ people where it doesn't even matter, bro. They don't even deserve a response.
In the red pill space, he said he actually looked up to Rollo Tomasi. He admired folks like him, Myron, Fresh. He admired these people. These are words that came out of his mouth. Wow. It's the only thing I got is wow. It makes a lot more sense about the way he moves. The only thing that's weird is that he actually has a sustained relationship and none of them do. So I don't know how he actually relates to these people. And once again, I just don't get it, because this man actually had an opportunity. If he would just be on YouTube, the same person that he is on TikTok, embracing his family and stuff like that. And people keep calling me out saying that, saying that you're a single father, or not saying single father. What I want to know is how people get so confused at the fact they're like, oh, being a stepfather isn't a flex. To me, it's an ultimate flex, especially if you're a good one, and especially if that father's out of play. If that father's nowhere to be found and you're raising that kid and you can take care of him and you can take care of his mother and you can take care of your own kids, you're the man. You're the bomb. People hate on people like Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson is an absolute G. People love Future, but what is Future? Crashing out. His whole life is just crashing out on drugs, on syrup, all effed up somewhere. Future ain't about to do anything. Makes great music. Who cares? He's nothing as a person. His calls Russell daddy. He sees him, he'll call him Future. You tell me who's really winning in that case. People love their children usually. Like it burns you deep and down, like when you have children. Like to have that happen, I'm pretty sure it's got to eat at his soul. It's got to eat at him. And then you see Russell taking him everywhere on these interviews and stuff like that. Like, that's my boy. That's my boy. He calls him Little Future. Boy, you talking about getting slaps in the face. Russell has been dick slapping Future for years and people are still Tarzan off of Future somehow. And I'm still trying to figure out how that's a thing. I still don't understand how stepfathers are just demonized throughout this world, acting like they are literally the bottom of society because they decided they're man enough to actually pick up another loser man's responsibilities and take care of it. So the people who act like these fathers who are gone. Now, I'm not talking about the ones who are clearly alienated by the woman or by a law in a situation where they're really trying to be active in the kid's life. I'm not talking about those situations. I'm talking about the real deadbeats, which, yeah, it's probably about 50-50 when it comes to that. Those people are losers. And the stepfathers are real winners, and they're true champions out there. Those kids deserve a father figure. We talk about all the people here in America who do not have father figures and how effed up society is because there's not enough fathers in the home. That's how men become all these bitches and how the food's turning you into bitches. And for whatever reason, you know what? No father around to guide these people so they don't get into trouble, so they don't get beat up at school, so they don't start slapping women, so they can stay out of bad things. No father around. You say they start running over the mom at the house. You know why? Because there's no father around. I guess they're just never supposed to be. But guess what? If somebody like Russell steps up, you know what happens? All that disappears. They might actually grow up to be somebody someday, and they might admire that person too. And they might grow up to be just like that person who might actually be a genuine hero to them and a great person. I don't see how that's not a flex, and I don't see what's wrong with that. Now, I'm not saying you should seek this out. I mean, yeah, it sounds noble when I'm talking about it right now, but yeah, if you're sitting around single, no child, I don't think you should be walking around here looking for a single mother first. Now, if you're butt ugly, you're broke, you don't have much going for you, you're in your mid-30s or above, you might want to consider at least looking at those single mothers. You might want to open that free agent pool because you know what? Your options are probably a lot more limited than what you think, unless you want to be a Geppetto. Unless you want to be a Petasaurus Rex like Zerka, I suggest you open those doors. Just saying, single mothers are not the devil either. They're just people who are victims of circumstance. Sometimes, yeah, probably stupid circumstances, just like this girl I'm going to talk about in one of these videos coming up very shortly. But just saying, it's not always that person's fault. People can make mistakes. Sometimes you've gotten away with making way worse mistakes, but you just didn't have to really face the repercussions of it, have you? Maybe not you in particular, but you know people who have. Somehow they skated by and they never really had to face anything. And guess what? Congrats. Lucky for them. That's great. But that's not the case for everybody. And I just, that stuff bothers me, that people think that being a single father or being a stepfather is such a bad thing. I think it's heroic. One of my best friends is a stepfather of 2 people, and he's one of the greatest people I know. Like, dead ass. Like, I mean, if you talk about top tier people, he's one of the tops. To be able to do that, take care of the woman, and be yeah. I'm sorry, we don't have enough people like that in society. We don't have enough Russell Wilsons. We have too many Futures. People look up to Future, but every day they look up, they're talking crap about people like Future on their podcast because they know those people are the detriments of society, but yet they make fun of people like Russell Wilson because for whatever reason, in the algorithms, it's loved. It's beloved. People wanted Russell Wilson to just crash out this year for the Steelers. Well, I'll tell you what, good people, they find a way to persevere. Good wins. There's a reason why Goku either comes back from the dead or he always comes back and wins. There's a reason why the Marvel heroes win in the end. Good perseveres. Now, also, it's comics and it's BS, but still, good wins, guys. I'm sorry, it does. Be a good person. Being a good guy might not always get you all the women, but being a good person will have you winning in life, period, point blank and simple. Just remember these things, guys. God, family, clouds. Peace.